What is this? You said you got rejected and ghosted from 33 internships and you're getting desperate? What field, if you don't mind saying? What field? I feel like that numbers, it sounds high, but a lot of people experience that too. So you're not an outlier, unfortunately, in that. That's still a lot. Still a lot. Illustration/art. Oh, well, unfortunately, that's why. It's a competitive field. Everyone wants to be doing that. It's a skill you can grind without going to school for it. So there are a lot of people that have gotten good at it because they practiced a lot, because practicing is not completely free, but virtually free. And that's the problem. Working in that field is so hard. Just because you can just get better at it. And a lot of people just do. And a lot of people enter that field in general and learn to get on the grind set quick. So, you know. I mean, you should keep trying. You should keep trying, but it's always going to be tough in anything competitive. That's just how it is. I would say work on something else on the side. So that way, if it doesn't work out for you very well, it's not dire. You know? Whenever you do something competitive, you need to have a non-competitive fallback, because having something reliable that you know you can do if things go bad takes so much stress off of you. It turns it from being something that's a sad experience to you know. or if you don't have a fallback, this is so dire that your life depends on it, right? But then if you do have a fallback, your life doesn't depend on it. It's just something you want to do, right? So like Juniper being paralegal and also an amazing artist. I also gotta say, when you're trying to do creative stuff, if your job is the creative thing, it's very easy to burn out. So I think it's really good to have a side thing that you do that's specifically not creative, because then throughout the day, that part of your mind does think up stuff. You might think up of an art prompt, or you might see something and be like, I want to sketch that, or whatever it is, you know, like that part of your brain is still there, but it's not being overused. So if you work, let's say you end up like learning 3D modeling, and then you work 3D modeling. At the end of the day, you're not going to want to start drawing and sketching, because a lot of that type of thought you've done throughout the day, and you start to be sick of it. You start to be so sick of it. So I feel like it's good to balance that with something else if you can. Which I know sucks, because my advice is like, do something else, but like balance it, you know, is what I'm saying. Because genuinely, like, it could be hard. It can be really tough. Looking into other fields like nonprofit and admin while doing my beauty project on the side right now. Aren't one day. Yeah. Like working in just like administrative tasks, right? Being an administrative assistant, then going from there. Stuff like that is just reliable. And it's good to have on the side. Have any recommendations of other careers artistic people might pivot to? No, because artistic is such a broad thing, and so many people are creative in general. Everyone's so creative. But it's such a personal question for each person, and you know, there might be someone who's good at art who could just go be a developer because they just think like that, and that's okay. There might be some people that are good at art that could never do that. Someone might be better off working in childcare. You know what I mean? Like it's so heavily dependent on the person, and artistic is not a good common trait to group people by because it's so vague. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't want to recommend off of that, because it's like, I'm a person with 2 legs, you know. And I'm right-handed. What should I do? Like a lot of people are like that. You do private security and also went to culinary college and did plumbing for 13 years. I have 2 skills I could always fall back on. Yet the trades are goated for that. Goated for having a fallback. Because a lot of them, you can do that kind of work without having a salaried position somewhere. You know, you can go to a place and be like, hey, I'd like to take on 1 or 2 jobs a week doing this thing in this trade. And they will just, some places will just take you. Depends on what type of trade you're in. But you can get more infrequent work, so you're able to go and kind of balance it with other stuff time-wise. I have a friend who had a job that wasn't really going anywhere, so he just became an electrician on the side. He studied and did that for like a year or 2. And now after that, he then went back and he just balances both. And he just occasionally gets called in to do electrical work on some project. And if he feels like taking it, he'll be like, yeah, I could do this. And he'll take it, make good money doing it. And then he'll go do his other job, which doesn't pay that well. But because it's supplemented, he's doing all right. And he's happy with that. And he was like, yeah, if the money is bad at the other job, I'll just go be an electrician full time if I gotta. And it didn't, he had to pivot to it. He had to put a little money in to go to school for it. But he most of his time spent on an apprenticeship, and he managed to get one that he didn't really have to pay much for. He had to buy equipment and everything. He had to put time in, but they just taught him so long as he would work there for like a year or two afterward. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You know? Oh, you'll eventually pivot to therapy. Yes. Yes. That's the way to do it. It is the way to do it. I will say, if you're looking for something to make money right now while you're in like grad school, and you're like, what could I do to build up a skill, whatever, I would say don't actually worry about it too much. I assume you're already taking loans or you're on a scholarship that's paying for things or whatever. I would just get some normal ass job, and it's okay if it's a dead end, whatever. Nothing that's going to turn into a career. Normal ass, basic ass job that gives you a little money. Use that to live, because no amount of money you're going to make right now is going to be significant enough to go and pay that shit off. So it's not worth thinking about now. If you're going to something like therapy, and you're going to be a therapist, that's a really good end goal. That's a good job, and it will pay okay. You will get money later, and just focus on getting there and being really good at that, and focus on that career so you can get a good job doing it, make a good amount of money, and then pay off your shit later. But basic ass job for now. You don't need to have a secondary thing that like is career-ish, you know, when you're already going towards something that's like pretty good like that, you know? Because you're going to be in something that there is a need for, and you're going to get paid all right. Probably. I think kids should be forced to garden. Put them back in the mines and on the farm.